Relocating. I mean, video says reliable.
See, I'm gonna do a check on.
Alright, cool, we're live. Hello, chat slash viewers afterwards. I'm James Crick. I'm an independently published author, of course. You can find links in the description. This is just a hangout stream. And I have a guest today, who I know is Dino. Thanks for coming on.
It's a going.
Alright, so, a couple of things on the docket for today. I've got a silly puzzle game I've been wanting to play.
Oh boy.
Called, was it Deepest Sword? Which is a platforming game about stabbing a dragon's heart.
Giggity.
And you need a bigger sword. Yeah. Apparently this is just a fun and quick game. If you don't suck at it. Okay. Because you keep getting a longer sword and the puzzles change.
Oh boy. So many that's what she said jokes. So many.
Yeah, it's literally all that's what she said jokes, basically.
Oh boy.
But there is some drama going on in Twitter land, and I don't think that's actually the right way. Because apparently an author is trying to copyright the idea of sun powers. Because they have that in their story.
Yeah, that you can't copyright that.
Yeah, and they like contacted lawyers and have been sending like cease and desist letters to this other random indie author, and they started getting incredibly racist about it. Apparently,
like how racist?
calling her a Nigerian bank scammer. This has to be the right way. There's no way to make that with this sword length. So, copyright law is very strange to anyone who doesn't know.
No.
Am I actually about to fail, like, the second challenge? It's a 4-button game.
I mean, at least this game is actually harder than the tutorial level for Cuphead.
Okay, I think I brute forced that. Yeah, so do you think you can name some stories that involve characters getting their power from the sun?
Superman. That's probably like the
Yeah,
easiest,
yeah, you think?
famous. So said author is actually not even the creator of that idea.
Wow, no, I'm pretty sure it's actually mythology, because you know, the Invictus Soul, the ever burning sun, ring any bells? Demigods from Sun Gods. What do you think? What do you think of that?
That possibly, like especially with like Raw. Let's see. Then there's. I only got Superman.
Yeah. I can throw out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As Hamon is a combination of the sun and breathing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, everyone gets their powers from the sun, because, like, without the sun, there's, like, no photosynthesis and stuff like
Yeah, it's from farming, basically.
that.
So that has been absolutely blowing up because she is like the first person to cause drama in BookTube in Book Twitter in a long while. There we go. That didn't block everybody. Like, she's actually, to this moment, still responding to people because she thinks she's in the right.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when she sends those, like, cease and desist letters, this is from my own law, she puts herself into where she could be legally challenged. Like, when you send out like a cease and desist, you put forward, I am willing to go to court for this. And the said party who receives it can say, okay, we're going to court. So, if she just cease and desists the right person, she on. To me, it sounds like it's a she because they.
It's a she.
Anyone could do that. Okay. But she could set herself to be ass reamed in the court. That.
This is actually a super clever puzzle. I understand why this actually caught on. It's a free little puzzle game that is funny with a pretty good concept. You know what? I'm very happy. Okay, I'm going to use the checkpoint. Yeah, so I regret that I have not been more engaged with this mess because it sounds hilarious. Apparently, it's just like one of the stupidest things. I got another question for you, which is the other half of the title I chose for today, or it'll lead into that at least. Have you ever paid for a fitness trainer?
No.
Why? Too expensive for you? Or do you not care about being fit?
For the longest time, I didn't really care about being fit, and then I decided to go into the military. So I had a personal trainer that I didn't pay for, but was paid for by the U.S. government.
Fair enough. All right, but okay. So apparently, I still need to get a little running start there. If you had to name some reasons you might use a fitness trainer, what would you say?
Lack of knowledge of working out. Like, okay, I don't know how to do exercises for my skill level without injuring myself. So, like, lack of knowledge, maybe to, like, when you start to sort of, like, plateau, maybe help introduce something different, maybe a little bit of encouragement, maybe that kind of thing, motivation. There's some ideas I guess.
Okay, that's totally reasonable. I would say tying money and the actual encouragement and all this, the accountability is a pretty big reason. That's the primary reason I pay for through the nose for one. Because even though I do basically know how to set workouts and such and make myself strong and fit, actually showing up to the gym is kind of hard. But there's another reason that I can think of. And that would be, and it's not just like the nuance in, ooh, yeah, one sec, this is, Oh, and so the point I was trying to get to is safety, actually. Because when you're say bench pressing or squatting, you need someone to spot you that you can trust.
Yeah.
Want to take a guess what happened today?
Didn't spot or an accident.
Yeah, so I was doing incline dumbbell bench press. Ooh, oh, okay, so this will work. This will work. Come on, come on. Ah! I feel proud. And the dumbbell. Come on, game. Come on. Make this work. Just make this work.
It just works.
On the last set at the highest weight, my arm just opened up like a barn door. Why didn't that work? Yeah, no. So that's exactly the moment where the trainer is supposed to grab the weight and keep you from, say, rolling out of the bench towards someone else at full speed.
Or dying because you have like an absurd amount of weight landing on your chest.
Well, it opened out, right? My arm extended instead of like it collapsing as a dumbbell bench press, and instead of pressing in like you're supposed to, I pressed up slightly because guess what? It was heavy weight and I was tired.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I ended up on the fucking floor because the trainer that I'm paying money just didn't react because he was shocked that it happened. And yeah, so my shoulder hurts like a bitch right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stuff like that does hurt.
I actually feel like a dunce right now.
Or are you talking about your game?
Oh, God damn it! Yes, I'm talking about Demon Sword.
Okay.
Okay, that actually makes complete sense. And I'm an idiot.
Almost fell off. You did. I'm probably a few seconds behind because I'm watching the stream itself.
Yeah, so hopefully no lasting injuries, right? Right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to be feeling it tomorrow.
Yeah, probably.
Ooh, what a long sword I have. So deep. I've not been able to pierce it. The longest sword of the land. It is the deepest sword, my dude. So deep. For the record, this game is supposed to take, like, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So I think I might switch to more satisfactory afterwards.
Autism Simulator part.
Yeah, man.
One of them.
Think this will work?
I don't know.
Oh, it's totally gonna work. Maybe.
Sword's so big.
It is not going to work.
With it.
The kind of clever thing about this puzzle is that it's the same rooms over and over again.
Yeah, so
But because you have a different sword. Okay, apparently this pit is still unpassable from below.
Yep.
Yeah, I just gotta flop my giant sword. Don't mind me. Yeah. You think I can go under this time? I think that's the trick. I think it is not the trick. So I got I got standard guess question. Been reading, Dino.
I've started C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy, because before he wrote Chronicles of Narnia, he actually wrote the 3 science fiction novels. And I've been reading Out of the Silent Planet, which is the first one. And then I've also been reading Ender's Game.
Okay. Oh, I do go under this time. I go like this. Ender's Game is a very good book. I was maybe too young for the sequels. Is it your first time reading?
I've read parts of the beginning of Ender's Game a couple of years ago, and I kind of put it down. And then I finally bought myself a copy because I was like borrowing it for someone, and so I've been still at the beginning of it.
Okay, fair enough. It is actually it's one of those stories that is actually a different genre than it purports to be, because Ender's Game is not military science fiction by structure.
I mean, it has some like military science fiction elements.
It's a sports story,
Yeah.
which is fine. People like sports stories.
It's not like Starship Troopers, which, I mean, that's like one of the military science fiction books. Which that one I love. But
Yeah, Starship Troopers is great, but there's some. Have you read Forever War?
no, I've had a little bit interesting because I do know like Forever War is supposed to be like
It's supposed to be kind of a response, right?
right, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like a little bit interested to see like, is it a actual good faith response, or is this kind of like Paul Verhoeven's response?
Fuck me. It's one of the best books I've ever read. I would say it's a good faith response. It's just that they have a different opinion about war, and I believe they actually hit it off and became good friends.
Okay.
So yeah, highly recommend. There is another one called like Armor or something. That I have not had the chance to read.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
find
also,
someone.
When it comes to Highland, like his books, they're all like different ideas. Like Mars is a Cruel Mistress is different.
The Moon is a Cruel Mistress, which I'm actually frustrated that there is no explanation for the AI that I was able to piece out. Have you read that one?
Mars is no, I haven't. I've read parts of the beginning to Stranger in Strange Land. Like I got to like chapter 12,
Bro, are you one of those people that will, like, not finish books? What's going on here?
I have. I usually do. It's just there's sometimes I go through like, oh, I'll read it, and then like something happens, and then I just or like lose my place. That took me like.
That's what bookmarks are for? Are you unfamiliar with this technology?
I'm familiar with bookmarks. It's more like, okay, I go back to where it is, and like, okay, what happened? What's going on here? That kind of stuff. So.
Finally.
Yeah, I do finish books. I mean.
Huh. Sure about that? I'm not so sure you. What's the last book you finished?
Cicero, actually.
I knew I had to do it too! Oh, God. Oh no, I'm behind average. Oh no, I'm a below average puzzler. I know you're delayed because I'm not streaming directly to you, but yeah, I knew there was a gap, and I still screwed up the momentum. This is actually quite dexterously difficult. The timing. Sorry, actually, I got completely distracted and missed your answer of what the last book you finished was.
Selected works, Cicero.
Oh, good choice. I read that earlier this year. Fucking. What was your favorite part of it? I was actually quite. I enjoyed the early stuff where he was working as a lawyer.
Oh, like that was more akin to like his speeches.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The what's thing against Antony.
Yeah, that one I liked because especially with some of the remarks he makes towards Anthony. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, it was the Philippic against Antony.
Yeah.
Dude, humanity does it's a great example of how humanity does not change.
Yeah.
The whole issue with revealing private letters, I thought was incredible.
As kind of like leaking DMs.
Yep. I tried to make hay out of that on Twitter because it's just like leaking private messages is uncivilized behavior. This goes back 2,500 years, man.
Even the Romans were having their DMs leak.
Oh! You've been following the cancel pig drama over with Marvel and DC?
I've been seeing like some of he's one of the Comics Gate guys. Or was I don't know if he's still part of it or not. I think it's Richard Meyer, aka It's Your Boy Zach. Like some of his community posts like pop up and I read them, so I kind of know like a little bit what's going on.
I don't actually know who is running the Whisper Networks. I'm not actually a comics guy.
Not
God
really either.
damn it.
I think like I have like two comic books. One's Black Sad, and the other is like a comic book that came with an album I bought.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a manga guy. I was just on someone else's stream talking about the fact that like
Yeah, I was there. I was shitposting there.
right, yeah. So pirating manga was literally just a better consumer experience, even if you ignore the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like from what I hear from like some of my weeb friends and seeing like weebs in some servers I'm in, like piracy might be going up just because of localizers and such.
Yeah, you can't trust the localizers.
Yeah, like I know like a lot of people like to. I remember them ragging on like 4Kids or stuff like Voltron Defenders of the Universe. Granted, in Voltron Defenders of the Universe case, they're trying to turn on its best day 14 plus show into on its worst day Y7. Like I actually went and tracked down and watched the original Beast King Go Lion, which is the lion half of the original 80s Voltron. And it's like there are some episodes that are like, yeah.
I actually never watched Voltron.
For kids. I mean, like in literally the first episode, you see like the slaves being like torn in half by the roe beasts, and like anime blood being sent everywhere. This was like 1981. But then like I hear some things like complaining about when it comes to like 4Kids and stuff. Like quite a bit of it I know here in the U.S. has to do with the FCC, because they like, oh, you can't have like Japanese characters there, you can't have this, you can't have that. So
all right, I need you to flip a coin for me. Do I go in sword first or sword second? I think it's sword second.
With like like the FCC and all that. So, but with the internet, like they don't deal with the FCC yet. I mean, they've been trying to, but like so there's like all the rules, all the restrictions and such that the FCC put on are not there. So like, what's with some of the
Okay,
changes and stuff?
we were wrong. It has to be sword first.
Okay. And some of it is also is just like the localizers just trying to add stuff in, like twist it their way. Like going back to the whole like Voltron, like when it came to like them translating Voltron, they actually didn't have any translation notes, so they were kind of in a odd position.
Aha! Done it! I have the deepest sword. Wait a minute. Oh, apparently there's lore, man. He stole my cat. Or she stole my cat. It's a cat lady.
Cat lady, that's a real dragon.
Well, it took me 28 minutes. Yeah. That was fun. Should I play Satisfactory or the Coffin of Andy and Lee? I kind of want to just autistically build more Factory.
Either or is fine. I'm just here for the ride.
I'm going to Satisfactory.
Okay. Autismo Simulator.
Oh, yeah. I finally got, like, automated reinforced iron plate building at the end of the last stream.
Mm. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
See if Satisfactory is actually going to, like... That it is not going to actually... Oh, there it is. Alright, cool. Now it's just working. Now, I'm worried I'm going to have double audio for all of my zero.
I'm looking at live chat and it says 2.
You're looking at what?
The live chat and I see 2.
Oh, interesting.
Granted, one's probably me.
Yeah, I think it's literally the two of us. What was I doing? Oh no, what was I doing when I left off?
I know, I think I left.
Okay, when in doubt, fuel. Going to improve my fuel production real fast because I don't remember what I was doing. Probably building the space elevator and logistics Mark II. I think that's what I was doing. What do you think? Do you think it was the objectives marked on my screen?
Probably. And then you realize that do something else that's like a whole other like rabbit trail.
What'd you say? I literally could not hear you over the sound of the chainsaw.
It's going to be the objection until you realize, oh, to complete that objection, I need to do this whole other rabbit trail that takes you like 3 hours.
What in the hell am I looking at? What? Bro, why are there giant presents everywhere?
It might be because it's Christmas, near Christmas time or something like that.
A Thickmas gift? Blocking my spaghetti?
Yep.
Oh my god, they're dropping more Thickmas gifts at me. I'm being assaulted. I forget, are you, do you follow A Drink with Crazy?
No.
Okay, fire. Totally fine. I just wanted to complain, they uploaded a video today basically simping for Eric July. And I was just like, what? Which, I don't mean that as, like, I don't appreciate the work Eric July is doing. But he thinks Eric July is the only person making a comic universe, even though, like, he's had on multiple people doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned like Richard Meyer, which he on YouTube is like Digital Exact. He's been doing it for a long time. Real slow at getting film.
I need to pull up my volume mixer because I cannot hear you. Okay. Manually adjust some volume.
Okay.
Go up. Turn. No, I need to turn. Yeah, Google up, Satisfactory down. Okay. That should be a lot better for me.
Okay. Go back, but yeah, there are like plenty of others. Like you have Richard Meyer, Ethan Van Sciver, Razor.
I mean, what does Ethan Van Sciver do other than Cyberfrog? And like, be annoying on Twitter.
Yeah. Then there's also like Literature Devil. Like I know he has a couple of comics like that, Dr. Alpha.
Yeah. So he has the Doc Alpha stuff, which I think has one issue out and a second planned right now.
Yeah.
I don't know where I should be sending extra concrete right now. I think I'm just going to put in a conveyor belt splitter right here.
Might work.
I need iron rods.
I mean, you could have been using that sword from earlier.
I could have been using the what from earlier?
That sword.
Chainsaw?
Previous game.
This thing? Did you just call that a sword?
No, I was making a joke about like, oh, you need iron rods. Like, well, you could probably use that giant sword from the previous game you're playing.
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, it's not as funny when I have to explain it.
My apologies.
When it goes over heads. But yeah, like, yeah, there are others who are doing like comic book universes right now. I mean, I appreciate Eric July especially more so like doing the. Not only am I going to make comics, but I'm also starting a comic book company, and I'm hiring people to write more comic books. Such like he's writing like a alternative model and such like that, as well as like an attempt to actually make it financially profitable. So far, it has been, but
So far.
right. Like, who knows in like 5 years down the line when, because you know there's still kind of like a little bit of this hype, like, oh, this is, you know, a new thing. But like, what about like 5 years down the line? It's like, oh yeah, this is another Rippaverse comic. Like, will he still be able to get like enough to make a net profit, or is he going to be making loss after loss after loss? I mean, he's not an idiot. He's actually, you know, well.
Yeah, so what he brings to the table is business acumen.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real. He's not bringing much else to the table. But you also like shouldn't underestimate the importance of business acumen.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I like the whole like. For some, this is maybe a little bit of my own ism, but I actually kind of like the behind the scenes like business structure and all that kind of stuff. I actually kind of like it. I'm that weird, but yeah, I know from like Eric July, he's not more so like a creative. Like he's not like he can't have like creative thoughts or he has like great ideas and stuff like that, but he's not like a creative in the sense like Chuck Dixon that he hired. Or
Have you actually read anything by Chuck Dixon? Because I haven't.
I haven't. I mean, I know of his reputation, but
I mean, basically, I just saw how people
As a-
treated the announcement. No?
I'm aware of like his reputation. Like he was like one of the big guys in the '90s.
Back when comics were actually selling millions of copies per.
Right. Like he was like one of the big guys. Like you wanted him with you. Like you wanted him in your company. He was like one of those. When I heard of his reputation.
I don't know. I wonder if I should be paying like less attention to the comic scandals and such. Because it's similar to what's in the literary traditional publishing area, but it's different.
Hmm. Yeah, because like literature, you primarily just only have the writer and a cover artist. Then you obviously have like the publisher, the printer, and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I know when it comes to comics, you have the scripter,
There are so many people in comics, man. It's
inker,
ridiculous.
the colorist, the typeset, you name it. Um, so like, there's more hands in the pie. I mean, this is actually when Eric July was doing some of his like behind the scenes, like okay, what actually goes on. That was actually interesting to me. Those videos, going. But yeah, it's like there's just like a lot of people behind it. Yeah, you can like narrow it down. Like oh, like it's just going to be like a black and white comic, kind of like how like the original TNT comics were, such that they were only black and white. You can like maybe narrow it down to where like your sketcher and your inker are the same guy. You can narrow it down, but it requires too much. It's not just like it's not like hey, I can just like sit on my computer or laptop, type out a story, and then pay $100 to some Twitter artist to give me a cover or something like that. So
Yeah, a lot can be cut out of. I have made mistakes. How am I gonna do this? I'm sorry.
Where you're mixing ammonia and bleach.
Oh, that's called a fun time, my dude. But yeah, so I am making absolute spaghetti right now because I'm trying to split this feed very unsuccessfully. Okay, finally, progress. I've done it. Oh my god. What were we talking about before I realized I was being an idiot? Oh, all the jobs in comics. I think the idea that you need a letterer is a little overrated. A little overrated. But that's because I'm used to, you know, I'm used to manga.
Yeah.
Manga does like dramatic lettering, but mostly it's just digital. People are like, yes, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can cut it down. It's just I'm thinking about okay, and this kind of goes back to like Eric July's videos. It's like these are like the industry standard. This is part of the reason why it's not as profitable as it could be. Why it needs to be subsidized by like movies, merchandise, TV shows, where the true value of said property is its actual intellectual property and its potential and not the actual source.
Do you think there are too many intellectual properties trying to be made right now?
No. I mean, you kind of always have like people always trying to like create their own intellectual property. It's just whether or not they survive or not. Probably like countless like IPs from like or what we could consider like intellectual properties from like 1850 to 1950 that we just don't know about because they weren't the
Sure, we did lose. We have lost more literature than people like to realize.
I mean, yeah. I think some of it's just because, like, oh, well, the book's actually bad, or no one was actually interested in it, and it was just maybe the wrong time and place. I mean, this kind of gets into where, like, a lot of digital archiving is useful. But it does at least allow the possibility of that being preserved. The question is, you're also now preserving 9 tons of metric trash for one good thing.
I thought I'd blow a fuse. Where's this power coming from? Or not coming from? Oh no, this is the problem. Oh, okay, found it. Thank God. Not a blown fuse. I just ran out of fuse somewhere. Hey, we're up to like 3 viewers right now. Hello, chat. You can show that you're alive and not like parasitic crypto bots trying to figure out where to spam links. That'd be great. Dude, I just wrapped up Act 4 of my web novel, and what I do at the end of my book of my volumes is I do just a post that is like my thoughts on what went on, basically. Where I thought I screwed up, what I enjoyed, where I'm planning to go, right? Because that also like buys me a week on releases. Not one person commented. Out of the like 300 people that read that chapter, it got no comments.
Wow.
Ridiculous. I mean, I have accidentally cultivated a very quiet community. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but yes, I believe you were saying that most IPs are trash, and honestly, I got to agree.
Yeah. I mean, even my own attempt at creating an IP. I mean, I posted it in Guild, but I don't.
Did you get anyone to beta read what you posted? I've been trying to support people that are trying to get their stuff beta read, but like frankly, I don't even have time to read published books that need attention. So I'm struggling. Literally, the best I can do is like bring people on streams like this.
Yeah. But I posted in your Guild. I haven't heard any feedback there, but like I sent it to like a friend of mine. And I like it, but he did the whole you don't tell but don't show. Like you need to like show don't tell. That whole typical thing.
You know, I just read a book that genuinely needed that advice.
Yeah. Like, I get that sometimes like it needs that advice. I don't. But like in my head is like, yeah, you're telling a story. You're not showing a story. It's not like a movie where you can show what's happening. You have to tell them, hey, they're actually doing that. Maybe that's like how my mind works or something.
So it's a slightly more nuanced thing than that.
Right.
And so you've noticed that I don't do videos on how to write, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel I have enough success to actually warrant people listening to me. That doesn't stop anybody else.
Yeah.
And frankly, that's the issue. is there are just bad people repeating advice they don't actually understand. And that goes for writers as well as beta readers. So it may not even be correct that you have a show don't tell issue.
Yeah, that's kind of like why I'm waiting to see if some others can get back to me to determine, like, okay, is it a show don't tell issue? Like, I'm waiting to see if there's like a common thread with the criticism, or
A rule of thumb I can offer is so what a good time to tell instead of show is to recap something that characters are familiar with, and you just need to get the viewers familiar, right?
okay,
But if it is in the scene, as it were, you should probably be showing it, and you should probably be cluing in the reader, such as you don't state that Miranda was bossy. You show her being bossy, and the reader will come to the conclusion themselves and feel like they have engaged with the story, because making them analyze that basically just brings in that part of their brain and gets them to bite into your story better.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
So people talk about like you have to engage all the senses, but realistically, engaging engaging the thoughts in their mind is more important, and gets completely overlooked by bad advice like, oh, you gotta use all the senses.
Okay. Again, I'm still waiting to see if it actually does qualify as a case of, like, okay, maybe it's just like differences of prose or something like that.
I mean, do you want to talk through the problem? Like, what is the scene? Like, what are you trying to do, and why do you think it's appropriate to tell it?
Like, you want me to actually give you a snippet, or just like,
Go right ahead.
or something?
It's basically just us here. No one watches replays of literal Who.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it on my laptop, because I have like a dedicated laptop for writing that I keep separate from my gaming and free PC. Let's see. I'll give kind of like the beginning section of it. But man ran through the empty streets of the city at midnight. He was running for his life as he was being chased by two men. They were dressed as soldiers in full gear with tactical style rifles in their hands. What made these men stand out was their enclosed helmets, a modern knight helmet, you can call it. The man continued to run as he turned into an alley, and that was his mistake. The alley was a dead end, trapping the man within the two pursuers. He turned to face them in an attempt to attack them. They could see the blood dripping from his mouth and onto his chin, but it wasn't his blood. Long fangs were visible, his eyes were yellow and cat-like. He was no human, but a vampire. He gave a hiss and
Cat-like vampires. Oh, so you're going for that audience.
What?
Cat-like vampires? So you're going for that audience.
Oh, the yellow and cat-like eyes. Just something to kind of help differentiate the eyes. He gave a hiss and lunged at the two men. The two men aimed their rifles and began firing at the creature. The vampire fell to the earth as his blood began pouring out. Unfortunately, bullets, even silver ones, don't kill them. It's my own thinking. The creature of the night was picking himself up when a third man rushed in with a silver saber. The blade pierced the vampire's mouth, draining what was left of the creature's life. The one with the saber sheathed it and gone.
Who's your main character in this scene? Vampire or one of the guards? You don't seem to have a main character.
It's going to be the commanding officer. She's the one with the saber. kind of introduced a little later on. What is her status? He asked. Sorry, sir, she didn't make it. Voice on the other hand answered. She lost too much blood. The man with the saber shouted at the person in range. The voice continued. He did everything he could to try to save her. He already did the preparations so she won't transform. It's a good thing we finished him off. We'll be picking up the body and transfer her back to the base. Command is going to have to do some paperwork and cover stories. The orders were acknowledged and the comm line was closed. The man with the saber walked up to the other two and said, "Prepare the corpse for transport. We're heading back to the base." "Yes, sir," the two said, and immediately began carrying out these orders. This is like first few paragraphs. Of it, and kind of like the whole idea is it goes through oh, they're returning back to base, debriefing, and then
Okay, I think my recommendation is you should probably rework the very beginning and lead with your protagonist has an issue. Now watch Commander. What's his name? I missed it.
To the team commander is First Lieutenant Darius Robertson.
Okay, so Team Commander Robertson watched as his squad charged at the killer. That's not a great that's not a poetic opening line, but that will ground the reader in this is who you care about, this is what they're dealing with. And then you can build and explain everything around that.
Okay.
Because without a protagonist, you don't know what you're supposed to care. Because this story could really go in a lot of ways. The vampires could be entirely sympathetic. This could be a thing about madness and corruption and elder gods playing on people's minds or something, because there are just too many ways the story could go if you don't clearly tell the reader this is the protagonist.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Hey, that'd be... Honestly, that's actually far more better advice than the show don't tell. What?
Yeah, so what you're going to find, particularly for me, is the reason I don't get along with a lot of beta readers, and a lot of people don't like my reviews and such, is because what the symptom is never actually the cause. So you were getting diagnosed with show don't tell. But the issue was your readers weren't grounded in what to want.
Yeah, at least I think later on I do solve it.
I mean, well, yes, because you know what you're trying to do. You are going to eventually clue in the reader, and then the problem goes away. So that's even more evidence that my advice for you is correct, I think.
Okay.
Because you're going to just get this amalgamation of evidence that this is the character, this is the story, this is the tone I'm going for, this is what to expect. These are the things to look for to see progress in the story, etc., etc.
Okay.
I should be doing research or something right now. You haven't actually played Satisfaction, have you? You just enjoyed the stream the other day?
Yeah, I just watched a little bit and commented.
I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I probably should have hit up Jeff and invited him up.
Yeah.
I need Caterium. I might just go looking for Caterium. There is nothing wrong with just doing some exploration as we talk. Alright, so tell me more about this story. Is this supposed to be? They have rifles. What time period is this supposed to be?
This is contemporary, like
Temporary.
modern day, or like within the last 5 years.
And they're
But-
using rifles instead of pistols?
When I say like contemporary, like within the last 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so hold on. I am multi-streaming my brain at the moment. I may have missed the details. I apologize.
Okay.
They're police? Or like specialized force of the government for dealing with vampires.
They are. The title of it is Templars Mortem ad Soprano, which is that's Latin for death to supernatural. They are sort of a secret organization, sort of like the surviving remnants of the Templars. Like modern day knights, they are the ones who. The way I kind of pitch it is like Men in Black, but instead of aliens, it's monsters, and they're spec ops.
Well, that's not Men in Black. Don't pitch that as Men in Black. 'Cause Men in Black is basically an immigration comedy.
Right. But it kind of like, okay, it's sort of like the whole, like, oh, they're like a hidden organization that tries to keep the supernatural, like vampires, werewolves.
Well, okay, no, nothing wrong with that.
Hidden from. And they've existed for thousands of years, multiple different names, all throughout the globe. There's like even like a Japanese branch of them. And they, in essence, go for hundreds of thousands of years, well, not hundreds of thousands, but for thousands of years, they were hunting them down indiscriminately. But after World War II, another world was discovered where the monsters can actually go without contacting humans. And so a
Agartha?
peace treaty was made between the two. Where it's like, okay, we will not indiscriminately hunt you down unless you shed the blood of man, or if, like, for example, something like the chupacabra were to start messing around with somebody's goats, they take care of that. But like, if a vampire is just doing their own thing, okay, we're not just going to go hunt you down in the middle of the day and have you. But if you start like, hey, kidnapping children, we're going to find you and stab you.
Alright, so what makes this moment your inciting incident? But why does the book start here?
To kind of, the idea is to give this is a wrap up of a previous mission.
Okay, so you're trying to do like a Indiana Jones kind of prologue,
Right.
give the reader a little micro taste.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think you should start it sooner then? Indiana Jones starts at the prize and then gives the struggle for the prize, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that you're starting basically with paperwork.
Yeah, it's like the other like starting point has they get back to base and he goes back into his company commander and tells him this is what happened. And then his company commander is like, okay. Also, we have a new recruit, which is through this new recruit that the organization you learn, like, okay, you know, we've existed for thousands of years, multiple different names. We're hidden from humanity. You know, this is what our main goal is. You know, this is also like our uniforms. This is our weaponry.
Okay, there is a lot of similarity to Men in Black then.
Right.
Okay, have you thought about getting a little creative with your timeline? Actually just opening it up with give me a report, Robertson. Right, it was the night of, December 19th and yada yada yada. And then you scene break and go back into the scene to show the scene instead of it being a report. Because that would let you say in the dialogue of the first scene, these crimes have been committed. We caught up with the monster here. You thought about something like that?
Well, that could work.
Oh, I can pet the lizard doggo? Neat. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of nonlinear storytelling. I do kind of respect that there are reasons to not do it.
Yeah.
If you're careful with what you're doing and you're not doing it to hide information like that, readers should be fine with it.
Yeah, and then like then it goes on to like, okay, this is the team, and like this is like, okay, the individual members, like this is the rank, like sort of like the rank, like you have Knight Sergeant, because this is like Ergani, which he's like Robertson's right hand of the team. Which he's like, you have Robertson, then you have Kreikman, and then like their positions, what they do, like one's demolition, one's a sniper, one's.
So who's the scribe? Who's the exorcist? Who's the curse breaker? Like, come on, man, get it. If people want spec ops, they don't need monsters.
I don't know, maybe just give an idea, like, hey, spec up guys actually, they probably have like, I came up with an idea of like a division where like, oh, they deal with recovery of first artifacts and stuff like that. Where it's just maybe not entirely militarized, but they sometimes have these strike units, as I call them, cover for them. Like they escort them to and fro if they have a one that would be a high priority of being attacked or something like that. Like that was like one idea I had, but I'm like, I need to at least get the first one written before I start writing more.
Yeah, so people are going to want a variety of characters.
Yeah.
So make sure you're giving a variety, basically, especially when you have like the obvious options.
Okay.
My take, anyways. If I was reading something about dealing with magical monsters and there wasn't a wizard dealing with them, I'd be a little annoyed.
Oh, like one aspect that I'm kind of want for it is that these are just ordinary humans.
Sure.
They don't have any magical ability.
Oh, okay, so that's a little good. Have you watched Supernatural?
I've watched bits of it when I was like real young because my parents would watch it and it was like on the TV. But I never like paid attention to it.
Well, they're just humans mostly,
Right.
and they deal with supernatural threats. But they do so by researching the threats. That's one thing is when it's written well by the studio, they're very smart guys. And yeah, you probably want to take a look into that. Okay, so I need make a rotor factory. That'll be fun. Aren't I overproducing screws like mad right now? Definitely am. That's the only thing going into is, oh my god. Where are these plates coming? I need an assembler. I need reinforced iron plates. Lovely. This has to be like Skinner box the game, I swear. There's just always something to do. Okay. Lucy, you still there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously distracted. Okay, back to crafting bench. Yeah, are you familiar with the concept of a five-man band?
Yes.
Yeah, so who's your heart and who's your smarts and such?
Thing is, like, I kind of
Don't have that figured out?
I have like some like okay intelligent guy, but like they kind of like very intelligent, like they're feel probably like the closest to be the smart guy. He's referred to as like monster intelligence, which he's the
Yeah, no, that's good. That's part of the puzzle, my dude.
yeah, which he basically he provides the oh this is this monster or this is of this faction or they're of this like he provides that information for the unit. But then there's also like a comms guy, which he's also the computer nerd, tech. So like he can be able to get into network, like computer networks, get some of that kind of stuff. So like you have like they're all like kind of like very smart guys. So it's kind of like it's like the same roles kind of like split amongst like different guys. And sometimes it overlaps. So I think maybe for like for example, the heart guy I could have is like he's the staff sergeant. He's like the
I mean, for the record, forcing a cast to fit a trope is probably not a great idea.
yeah.
So, like, if you think you have good dynamics, trust your instinct. Don't go to TV tropes for how to write.
No, you just spend 5 hours on it and get nothing done.
Yep. Oh, that goes. More concrete.
That's kind of like my idea. Like I have like a silent type guy, but again, it's just like one aspect about him because he's quiet, he doesn't speak. But when he does speak, you listen.
Oh, that's a great trope.
Because he has something very important to say. Like, Tango's ahead. Or some, like, which is like, oh, you need to listen to that. Like, the Night Sergeant Kreikman, he's the right hand of the team. Like, I kind of have him to where he's just a kind of like a stereotypical Marine. He actually is a Marine Corps vet. Have it, but he's always barking, that kind of stuff. But like one of the things that I decided to do in order to try to keep things organized is actually just like write out, okay, these are character sheets. Like, okay, this is the rank, position, their name.
It's very useful.
Yeah.
I may or may not have not thought out the police department in Bastion well enough before releasing books. I think I can fudge my way into making it work.
I've only thought out for this Alpha Strike unit. If I try to introduce other units, like, oh boy, like one idea I have is like, oh, A dragon decided to show up. Great. All hands on deck. So I have to bring in some other units in. So they have to work with the other units to take out this dragon.
What? Why would that? A little mad. Just a little mad that I put that on backwards. Just a little. Okay, man? Okay. How do I get power to this thing now?
That's okay. I was near the edge of doing that.
Hey, Jeff. Are you sitting here thinking that you could help me so much if I just knew it, if you could hop on?
Oh, so there's somebody else in.
Oh. What has power right now? Alright, so that's basically at capacity. I can rig something off of here, maybe. Disconnect. Going there? Actions. Huh? Okay, this has power. Okay. I can work with this. That's fully connected. What do I need to disconnect? Okay. Have a plan.
Yeah, I learned to come up with character sheets or a character bible when you're writing stuff, because this is like my first time of actually like writing an original idea, but I've done basically fan fiction.
No shame with that, as long as you don't, pretend it isn't fan fiction.
Yeah. And I was like writing it quite a bit, and I realized, oh, I've had like coming up with so many details and such. Like I have to like write this down in order to keep it organized and consistent, because as well as like if I write it down, it sort of like solidifies it and stops being this weird chaotic. It can change mush.
What do you think is necessary? I blew a fuse. What do you think is necessary in a character Bible? There's no wrong answers, man.
Yeah, because the one I have for the Templars is quite a bit different than the one I did for that fanfiction. Because the fanfiction one is actually far more in detail. Well, I've spent more time with it than the Templars ones. Because like the fanfiction one, I have things like okay, some of your more like generic, like almost your like role play RPG. Actually, it's like okay, age, the gender, uh, height, maybe certain aspects of their physical appearance, uh, and then like a background and then personality. Granted, I also noticed like the personality and the background overlap with each other, at least the way I come up with it.
Don't be deterministic. But yes, backgrounds do interact with personality, right?
Yeah.
But like people also defy their backgrounds all the time.
But when I say like background, like okay, this is also like backstory, so doubles ass.
Yeah. Well, like what I mean is, you know, maybe someone was neglected by their father and never got his approval. And yeah, that probably would put in a need to succeed into that person. But you might also think, oh, well, he had a bad example of how to raise children, so he's probably also a bad father. Whereas it's very likely that because he was the victim of a bad father, he actually is a great father.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do that.
What do you mean?
The like 100% deterministic. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
um, but- that's
You know what? I'm going to try a little something something here. Sure. I hope I can. This is annoying. Oh. Okay, so this is a constructor that gets powered right there.
okay.
Okay. The spaghetti is decreasing.
I say that when I'm programming, but then it increases once again.
Why isn't this powered? Did I just... Oh, because it's not configured. Duh. Oh no. What have I done? I'm feeding in screws wrong. No, 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 no. What have I done? Okay. Okay, there we go.
Apparently, Jeff Matthews is willing to jump on.
Honestly, Jeff, I'm probably going to get off in like 4 minutes here because it's my bedtime. So next time. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the stream when I was playing a different game. I started with a little puzzle game and then switched over to this because the puzzle only took 30 minutes. Okay, I need to stop working on jump pads because that is a slow rotor manufactory. What does resource sink take? Can I just build this, you think? No. Answer is no. Well, maybe. Gonna check if I can build the resource sink. Then I'm gonna wrap it up. 500 wires. Alright, that's easy. Iron plates. Ooh, I might actually be able to just do it. Yo!
Milestone reached. You have been given early access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on exoplanets bonus program. Following
Hearing a
parts
little bit
into
of
the
the game
awesome
that,
resource sink, depending on
I think
their
it's
amount
going
and
well right now.
complexity, will grant you coupons in the awesome store, which can be exchanged for bonus rewards. Examples of bonus
Oh my god, I need
rewards
so
are
many rotors.
walls, factory attachments, and cosmetics. Fixit is working hard to develop.
Hey, I can overclock production though if I go make a power
to
shard.
the awesome store in the future. Go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
I have no idea what a power shard does. I probably should have listened to what GLaDOS was saying. Were you listening to what GLaDOS was saying?
No.
Okay, so that's what the Ficmus gifts are for. What is that? Steel pipes. How do I make steel pipes?
Yeah, take some steel and you make into a pipe.
Bruh. Bruh, you think? Do you think it's that easy? I ain't got steel pipes!
Yeah, we were having some audio issues at the beginning. Restream.
Yeah, Joe, it's because I couldn't get OBS to pick up Gilded, so I'm doing some absolute jank through desktop audio.
Yeah, and I may not be projecting my voice as much.
Alright, I'm going to call it here because I don't know what to do next. Except go deliver more biomass. Alright. Well, you want to advertise yourself since you've been so kind as to be a guest, co-host all night tonight? Did you have something to advertise? You got a Twitter account coming?
Unfortunately, I don't have any of that.
All
I
right,
know that's gonna be a red flags.
creator products to be revealed on a later stream. Ready?
So, there's that.
Hitting the end stream. Thank you for tuning in, Jeff. Well, obviously I'll be in the Gilded. Peace. Alright, that's a finished thing. Peak concur.